This case made headlines for all the wrong reasons. A decorated Army officer, uniform on, ID visible, hand steady, convicted not of violence but of resisting arrest. The footage told a different story, a story that burned through the internet like gasoline on pavement. Everyone thought they knew the truth, until the truth exploded back. Nighttime, dim highway lights, blue and red flashes. Lieutenant Marcus Hall slowed his SUV. Too fast, and he looked guilty. Too slow, and they'd think he was running. He turned on his hazard lights, pulled into a well-lit gas station. That decision should have kept him safe. It didn't. Body cams clicked on. 2 officers approached, guns drawn, shouts overlapped. "Get out of the vehicle." Hands where I can see them. Marcus raised his hands. Calm, confused. "What's going on, officers?" "I'm serving in the U.S. Army." His voice is steady, respectful. One officer barked louder, voice cracking. "You're fixin' to ride the lightning." The internet would replay those words 1,000,000 times. People froze the frames, dissected every breath. The Army patch, the trembling barrel of a service pistol, the glint of fear in the officer's eyes. Fear or fury? Marcus didn't move. He asked, "May I know why I'm being stopped?" The officers yelled again. Flashes of light, the hiss of pepper spray, Marcus coughing, eyes shutting, in his calmest voice possible. "I'm afraid to get out." That line became the rallying cry. The proof, the symbol. Arrested, charged. The town split in 2. Justice or overreaction? The police claimed they feared for their lives. Marcus had a temporary paper plate. They said it didn't match records. But videos showed it clearly on the back window. How had they missed it? How had everything gone so wrong so fast? Weeks later, the body cam footage went viral. TV anchors analyzed every second. The clip became a mirror of America's tension: race, uniform, authority, fear. Comment sections turned into war zones. The police chief released a statement. "We acted within policy." Marcus' attorney called it an execution of dignity. Then came the trial. People waited for justice. Instead, something stranger happened. The prosecution didn't focus on the officers. They focused on Marcus. Argued he escalated the situation by not obeying lawful orders quickly enough. The defense objected, but the narrative had shifted. The victim was becoming the accused. The footage played in court. Jurors leaned forward, faces frozen. Every second of silent restraint counted against him. He hesitated. He questioned authority. He delayed compliance. The narrative twisted until the world upside down. An officer punished for caution, civility, and survival. Conviction, resisting arrest. No violent act committed. No weapon drawn. Just a conviction that made the public gasp. Commentators called it one of the strangest verdicts in modern policing. Experts debated how that charge even stuck. Marcus stood silent as the verdict read. No tears, just disbelief. His lawyer whispered, "We'll appeal." Reporters shouted questions as he left courthouse. Cameras flashed like lightning, the same blinding light from that night. Then, something nobody expected. One of the officers resigned quietly. Weeks later, an internal affairs leak hit the press. A body cam glitch. Or was it a deliberate cut? Exactly 17 seconds missing from the video timeline. 17 seconds before the pepper spray. 17 seconds that no forensic team could explain. Conspiracy theories erupted. That missing footage, what did it hide? The pixel gap became the internet's obsession. Sleepless detectives on Reddit parsed shadows and audio drift. One claimed they heard faint laughter under static. Another said they saw what looked like a third figure behind the patrol car. The police department denied it all. Technical malfunction. But leaked maintenance logs told another story. Cameras inspected days before the incident. Batteries replaced. No prior issues. So why did the data vanish only during that critical moment? Marcus's attorney filed for retrial with new evidence. Journalists camped outside the courthouse. The mayor held a press conference about transparency and trust. But off camera, anonymous sources whispered something darker. The missing footage had been deliberately erased, not by patrol officers, but by someone in the evidence room. The case spiraled. One officer fled the state, citing death threats. Another claimed he'd been forced to follow orders he didn't understand. There was more going on that night than we were told, he said in a recorded interview before disappearing from public view. Internal memos leaked. Federal investigators stepped in. Subpoenas issued. The story now stretched beyond one traffic stop. It was about chain of command, data tampering, and something buried deep in the police archives. Behind closed doors, quietly, someone reclassified the dashcam file as restricted operational review. The public never saw that footage. But a whistleblower claimed the original video didn't match the one shown in court. Different timestamps, different audio sync, different ending. The appeal date approached. Online, #call for justice. Protesters carried signs reading, "Hands visible, truth hidden." Marcus kept silent, bound by legal advice and military decorum. But inside his small apartment, boxes of legal documents grew into towers of frustration. Then, breaking news. An encrypted zip file surfaced on an anonymous account called Light in the Rearview. The file allegedly contained the raw dashcam feed. No watermark, no cuts. Investigators obtained it immediately. The anonymous poster warned, "When you see what they edited out, you'll understand why they rushed to conviction." Rumors exploded overnight. Commenters claimed to have seen frames showing someone else approaching Marcus's SUV right before the officers arrived. Some said it looked like another car. Others said it looked like military police. Suddenly, the case wasn't just about racism or compliance. It was about interagency involvement. Some users pointed out faint reflections of a third set of flashing lights. A different pattern, not police issue, not state trooper. Anomalous. The leak was pulled offline within hours. Cyber units traced the upload through multiple VPN chains. The account vanished. But the internet never forgets. People save fragments, screenshots, partial audio files. You can still find them on obscure forums if you know where to look. The whispers say the full video shows a car with government tags pulling in behind SUV. Right before the recording cuts out, days later, Marcus received a plain envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside, one flash drive. No note, just a folder titled 17_seconds. He plugged it in carefully. Military discipline steadied his hands. The file opened to grainy footage, different from the public release. A faint voice echoed, calm, authoritative, saying his name before the confrontation even began. "Lieutenant Hall, stand by. We need verification." Verification? Of what? His chest tightened. He replayed the audio over and over. It was definitely his name. Definitely before the first police command. Someone knew he'd be there. Someone was watching before the stop. Cut to black. Marcus stared at the screen as the seconds ticked by. The window auto-closed. Files deleted themselves instantly. He yanked the drive out, but it was empty. Wiped. The metadata vanished before he could copy it. That night, his phone pinged from a private number. "Stop digging. You were never supposed to see that." Marcus froze. Outside his apartment window, headlights flared once, then disappeared down the street. And when dawn broke, a new headline hit every news channel. Officer found dead in apparent accident linked to viral traffic stop case. But the forensic images didn't match accident patterns. Tires clean, no skid marks. The dashboard camera ripped out. And his notebook, the one marked evidence log, MH, was gone from his possessions. The same morning the news dropped, an officer dead in what they called an accident. Marcus Hall couldn't breathe. It wasn't a shock. It was recognition. The officer in that headline was the same one who whispered to him during booking, "Something's wrong higher up." Now he is gone. Reporters were everywhere. Cameras flashing. Was it suicide? Foul play? The police chief called it a tragedy. But the forensics didn't match. No broken glass, no skid marks, no sign of panic. Just an engine running and a lifeless body inside. Too clean, too convenient. Marcus's lawyer demanded the case files. Most pages came back blanked out, black ink covering lines that should have been answered. Evidence logs missing entries. The 17 seconds folder is gone from digital archives. It was like someone vacuumed reality out of the record. But then, a breakthrough. A tech journalist from Virginia, using cache server data, found remnants of the deleted dashcam footage. Corrupted frames, garbled audio, but one sentence clear as daylight. Lieutenant Hall confirmed. Proceed with stop authorization. Proceed with stop authorization. The internet lost its mind. Who authorized it? The police? Military command? Was Marcus a target, not a random stop? Conspiracy theories grew legs. Federal task forces stepped in. But the deeper they dug, the more files evaporated. Whole drives wiped overnight. Marcus started remembering small details from that night. The unmarked sedan is still idling behind the gas station. The quick radio chatter right before the shouting began. Now it all fit. The missing timestamp, the erased data, the message. You were never supposed to see that. At the appeal hearing, Marcus's lawyer dropped a bombshell. A confidential whistleblower had come forward, a tech contractor involved in police digital evidence storage. He claimed external access was given to federal partners days before the footage leak. On the witness stand, he whispered one chilling thing. The car behind him wasn't local. The tag traced to a Department of Defense fleet. The courtroom erupted. Judges called recess. Cameras cut mid-broadcast. Within hours, the whistleblower recanted his statement, saying he misspoke. But his apartment was emptied that night. Neighbors swore men in suits carried out hard drives. Marcus now knew too much. The mistaken traffic stop was never mistaken. He opened an encrypted message from an anonymous sender. We tried to warn you. They needed plausible chaos. Uniformed, unarmed, compliant. That was the story they couldn't afford. Suddenly, his computer screen flickered. The same phrase flashed 3 times. Access revoked. Access revoked. Access revoked. Then it went black. No one has seen Marcus Hall since. Note, stay tuned for more cold files, hidden recordings, and what investigators uncover about the mysterious third vehicle that still hasn't been identified.